Have you been wronged, assaulted, abused, backstabbed, neglected, insulted, belittled, left on red, or put in a blender? Well, this video will teach how to plan revenge. I mean how to handle these things in a godly manner and forgive people. Handling offense as a Christian. How should we respond when we feel wronged? Offense is an inevitable part of life. Jesus himself warned us in Luke 17:1 that offenses will come. But as followers of Christ, how we handle these offenses sets us apart and reflects our faith. Must times you get angry when someone offends you, but you must learn to control the anger. Controlling the anger meaning that you are still furious at the moment, but you do not commit any sin. Ephesians 4:26-27 advises, in your anger do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold. It's normal to feel angry, but we must manage it in a way that doesn't lead to sin. When someone offends you, it's not always easy to forgive, but it's the only way for us to move on. We must learn how to forgive just the way God forgives us for our own sins. In Matthew 18:21-22, Peter asks Jesus, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Up to 7 times? Jesus responds, I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. Forgiveness isn't about keeping count. It's about a heart posture that reflects God's grace towards us. When we forgive, we mirror the mercy that God has shown us. Forgiving isn't always easy, is it? That's why we need to lean on prayer. Pray for the strength to forgive and for the person who offended you. Jesus taught us in Matthew 5:44 to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Praying to God after someone has offended you puts you at peace, making it easier to forgive. It also enlightens you more on the situation that caused the offense. Pray for clarity and understanding by asking God to help you see the situation from his or her perspective. Sometimes, offenses are misunderstandings or reflections of deeper issues. James 1:5 promises, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. By asking for wisdom, God can provide a way for you to handle the situation. But what if it must be handled immediately on the spot? Then you have 2 options. 1, either to walk away and calm down, or 2, calm down and say a quick prayer in your mind to God for wisdom to handle the situation there. Either way, the main goal is to avoid sin and reconnect with the person. We should not retaliate by cursing back or fighting or whatever it may be. We should behave the way Jesus will if he was there. Retaliating only adds more fuel to the fire, and that's the opposite of what we should do as Christians. Let's take a look about the story of Joseph, Jacob's favorite son. He was resented by his brothers because of their father's favoritism and Joseph's dreams of ruling over them. They threw him into a dry well and later sold him to traders who took him to Egypt, where he became a slave. In Egypt, Joseph's ability to interpret dreams earned him favor with Pharaoh, who made him a high-ranking official. Joseph successfully managed Egypt's grain reserves during a severe famine. Years later, during the famine, Joseph's brothers came to Egypt seeking food. They did not recognize Joseph, but he eventually revealed his identity. Instead of seeking revenge, Joseph forgave his brothers, saying, you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. He provided for them and invited the entire family to live in Egypt. This story highlights the themes of forgiveness, faith in God's plan, and the restoration of family relationships. So I will end with this verse, Romans 12:18. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Thank you for watching. What kind of content do you want me to be making? Mention it in the comments section below.